Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein, and today's video is how to buy SPF or how to shop for sunscreen. Now this is probably one of the hardest videos to make because there's so much scientific stuff involved. I made a lot of notes on how I'm going to try and do this video as efficiently and as to the point as possible. I did make a previous video about a year ago all about SPF. Once again, like that video where I mentioned I am not a dermatologist, I am not a licensed esthetician, I have no professional education in terms of skin. All the information I am talking to you guys about today is based off of my own research, my experience with dermatologists, my experience with speaking with licensed estheticians. I think sun safety is such an important part of our everyday life, and it's the biggest way to avoid premature aging. So I'm breaking this down, and then I'm going to also talk about some myths about sunscreen at the end of this video. I know this sounds like a lot. If you're clicking on this video, hopefully I'm able to shed some light, help you kind of understand the difference between physical and chemical, the difference between UVA and UVB rays, and which ones you want to protect. Hint, hint, both. I also recently did an Instagram video with CVS that is talking about advice to my younger self, and basically I talk about I really wish I paid more attention to sunscreen because most of my issues with my skin could have been solved 10-15 years ago if I just listened to my esthetician and my mom. What is SPF? Sun Protectant Factor. That's what SPF stands for. I had no idea. I'll link my resources down in the description box if you wanted to read up on it as well. Most sunscreens with an SPF 15 or higher do an excellent job of protecting against UVB rays. SPF is a measure of sunscreen's ability to prevent UVB from damaging the skin. Only talking about UVB rays. No sunscreen, regardless of strength, should expect to stay effective longer than 2 hours without reapplication. So even if you go for an SPF 50, you're still going to need to reapply after about 2 hours. So just because it's a higher SPF doesn't mean you do not reapply when exposed to sun or sweating or swimming. Reddening of the skin, so essentially sunburning, is a reaction directly from UVB rays alone and does not tell you about the UVA damage. Plenty of damage can be done without redness of sunburn. UVB is what you can actually see, but UVA goes undetected, but is still just as dangerous and deadly. Everyone over the age of 6 months should be wearing an SPF daily. Even those working inside are exposed to ultraviolet radiations for brief periods throughout the day. Think about it. Going to get the mail, driving. I get exposed to so much sun damage when I'm driving, especially in LA. If you think you live in a cloudy, rainy climate, 40% of the sun's radiation still comes through clouds. When you're near a window, windows tend to filter UVB, but not UVA rays. That is why in California, there's so much sun damage on the left side of people, because the window is filtering us from getting sunburned, but we're still getting that radiation from the sun. You want to look for a broad spectrum SPF that has both UVB and UVA protection. Typically, a combination of chemical and physical SPF can do this. A minimum of about 3 ingredients to fully get UVA and UVB protection. You want to make sure you apply liberally for your entire body. 1 shot glass or 1 ounce of SPF is required to be the amount to protect your skin properly, and that has to be reapplied every 2 hours. If you're using a chemical SPF, make sure you apply at least 30 minutes before exposure to sun. If you're wearing a physical SPF, it becomes active as soon as it's applied, but I would still recommend putting it on 15 minutes before you go outside because you want to make sure the product is settled into your skin and offering its full protection. So let's start with chemical SPF. Chemical SPF is a synthetic SPF. I'm going to have all the ingredients or the types of chemical SPF that you'll see in your products on the screen right now because I can't pronounce any of those correctly, so let's just not even try. Chemical ones are the absorbers, where UV rays enter the skin, are absorbed, and then come out usually as infrared rays. Essentially, chemical SPF goes on your skin, it gets absorbed into your skin, and how it works in terms of protecting you from sun's radiation is that it absorbs the sun's radiation. To me, I think of it as more of like a superhero power that you would have. Putting chemical SPF allows you to become a superhero and absorb the sun's radiation and push it out without causing much harm. Physical SPF reflects. Physical ingredients are titanium dioxide, zinc, and zinc oxide. Physicals are reflectors and form a protective layer on the skin and reflects the UV rays. So think of it as putting on a glove, putting on a shield, and when the sun hits you, it bounces right off of you. Also why physical SPFs get a bad rap for having flashback or being white cast, because it's literally reflecting the sun off of you and protecting you that way. This is where I feel like you have to decide this on your own, and you have to do the research, and you have to talk to your dermatologist and your esthetician and decide what is right for your needs and your preferences. I'm going to give you some lists of pros and cons of both, and then I'm going to tell you my take on it. We'll start with chemical. Chemical is easier to find, offers more coverage against UVA and UVB rays, but can be irritable to the skin. Lots of people are known to have allergic reactions to chemical SPFs. On a couple websites, chemical SPFs are also known to have free radicals. The reason you might want a chemical SPF is if you're one of those people that absolutely hates the feel of SPF. You think it's got too much of a chalky feel, it's really thick and goopy, and it gives you a white cast, you wear a lot of makeup. That is why you want the chemical SPF, or why you would choose a chemical SPF. Chemical SPF can essentially be weightless, feel amazing, feel like a makeup primer in some cases. It creates a really nice smooth texture. It essentially is invisible, and you can get the full spectrum of protection, UVA and UVB. The pros to physical SPF is that there are no free radicals. They're typically a lot better to work with people with sensitive skin. Mineral SPF makeup is easier to use because it typically doesn't have that flashback or that white cast because it's tinted. Recently, they started using nanoparticles to finely mill the minerals of the SPF and make it even more flawless and less of a white cast. It's a little controversial right now. A lot of people say it's safe. Some people think it's like, wow, it's nanoparticles, it's being absorbed into your body. Overall, generally, physical SPF doesn't cause as much irritation. There's two types of physical SPF, and titanium dioxide protects against UVB rays, but not the full spectrum of UVA rays. So titanium dioxide isn't going to offer a full spectrum of protection. Can cause sensitivity as well. However, zinc oxide or zinc protects against the entire spectrum of UVA and UVB rays, and it's generally safe. Less people have reactions to zinc. So if you have tried a physical SPF and said, I'm allergic, check to see what kind of physical it is, because zinc oxide is probably the safest one out there for sensitive skin. I personally prefer a physical SPF, or a mix of physical and chemical SPF on my face every single day. I just feel safer, I feel more protected, and it's just what I personally like to use. I have quite sensitive skin. There are a couple chemical things that I do use, specifically my lips. So for every single day, I typically wear an SPF 30, and the one I'm currently going to and wearing all the time is the Tatcha Silken Pore Perfecting Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 35. This is a combination of physical and chemical, and it goes well under my makeup. It also is hydrating. One that I really like for the beachy days, or if I'm going to be out in the sun a lot, and this works beautifully as a makeup primer as well, is from MD Solar Science. This is by far one of my favorite sunscreen brands, and you can find them at Sephora. This is the mineral cream in SPF 50. This has titanium dioxide and zinc oxides. It feels wonderful on the skin. There is silicone in it. There is silicone in here as well. Unfortunately, most have silicone because without the silicone, it's going to be disgusting to put on your face. Drugstore option from Neutrogena, and this is their Sheer Zinc Face Dry Touch Sunscreen. They have an SPF 30 and they also have an SPF 50. This is the 50 one. This is pure zinc oxide. It does dry down and it does finish very nicely and it goes well under makeup. When you're just going to the beach, I highly recommend using this. And if you wanted to get this sheer touch, you can also get that one from Neutrogena as well. Let's talk about some tints. Let's talk about products that you just want to run out of the house with, offers a little tint, no white cast. The first one, which I've already gone through and repurchased, is from MD Solar Science, and this is the Mineral Tinted Cream Broad Spectrum SPF 30 that protects UVA, UVB, is titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. If you're allergic to titanium dioxide or you have sensitive skin, go with the Neutrogena Sheer Zinc. I get a ton of questions about how to reapply sunscreen if you have makeup on. I use the Color Science Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Water Resistant Loose Mineral Sunscreen. This is in the shade medium and they come in a variety of different shades. They're not foundations though, so hubs will even use this, and it comes with a brush. You pull this down, you apply it all over your face. This works beautifully over your makeup. It also mattifies you, which is great in hot weather. I love this stuff. Now, Peter Thomas Roth also has a physical SPF, mineral SPF in a brush, same kind of powder situation. However, the brush from the Peter Thomas Roth one is a little bit stiff and kind of almost hurts when I'm buffing it in. That's how I reapply sunblock if I have makeup on. That's how I reapply sunblock if I'm at the pool, because I don't want to squeeze more sunblock and put it on my face. Like, that feels so gross. I hate doing that. Mineral Fusion also sells one, and this is an SPF 30. So this is titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. The Color Science one is also titanium dioxide and zinc oxides. I mentioned that on my lips, I just wear the Fresh Sugar Lip treatments. So this is the one I've been using since, I want to say 2005, 2006, and it didn't dehydrate my skin or trick my skin to being hydrated. It actually offered moisture and kept my lips moisturized. Back then I was like, oh, it has SPF 15, perfect for laying out by the pool. No. Just because it has an SPF 15 doesn't mean I'm fully protected. I think when you're laying out, you should up it to SPF 30, and this is the Fresh Sugar Sport. So I love the way this smells. I wear this every single day. This is like my go-to lip balm. And honestly, I haven't found a physical SPF for my lips that feel and taste good. I'm so picky and sensitive on my lips that I just can't put a physical SPF on there, or I haven't found it yet. So that is why I wear a chemical SPF on my lips. The Fresh Sugar Sport is an SPF 30 and it's a chemical SPF. It smells amazing and it feels amazing. This I put all over my lips if I'm going to be at the pool or at the beach, because it ups my protection and it still feels just as nice as my Fresh Sugar Lip treatment. And what's great about this is I can put it like right under my eyes. Believe it or not, your eyelid is very, very thin and it can get sun damage too. You can wear all the eye cream you want at night. You need to protect it too during the day, or just wear really big sunglasses. Now, here are some other SPFs I bought for this coming summer. This is the Goddess Gardens Organic Sport Spray SPF 30, and this is so chalky. I don't mind it on my body. It's zinc and titanium dioxide. So I spray this and then I rub it in. It's very, very, very traditional, like physical SPF. It's chalky, it's thick, it feels like glue, but I'm protected. And I'm not going to use that every day. I'm going to use that when I'm at the pool or at the beach. This is the SPF 50 sunscreen Think Baby, and it's safer products for healthier babies. These were purchased at CVS. So there are sunscreens available at any budget, any price range. There's no excuse to not be wearing any type of sunscreen. Just wear sunscreen over 30 if possible. It's so annoying because Hubs, this is like one of Hubs' biggest excuse for not wearing sunblock. He says, wearing SPF equals vitamin D deficiency. Very few dermatologists actually believe that, and there have been no studies to prove it. Vitamin D is also found in your diet. You can buy supplements if you're really worried about your vitamin D deficiency and not get skin cancer. Myth number 2, cold or cloudy days mean you don't need SPF. That's not true. Up to 40% of the sun's radiation can come through the earth on cloudy days. A lot of people tell me that SPF clogs your pores and you break out from it. No, guys, your skin is breaking out because you're not removing the SPF properly. Think about it. The SPF is built to stay on your skin so it can protect your skin. So every single night, even if you're not wearing a lot of makeup, make sure you are properly cleansing your skin by removing your SPF like makeup. Double cleanse, remove it properly, tone, hydrate, go to sleep. You will be fine. It is not going to break you out if you find the right combination and remove it properly. 80% of sun exposure comes as a child, so it's too late for me. No, we get less than 25% of our total sun exposure by the age of 18. Men over 40 spend the most time outdoors. And part of it is that we're living longer, we're living healthier lives, we're outside more later on in our lives. I can say all of my sun damage is from 10 years ago, and that's true. The damage you do 10 years ago shows up 10 years later. So every year you are seeing damage from 10 years ago. But you don't want to be 75 and looking at damage that you did in your 30s or your 20s. So put on the sunscreen. So that's all the information I have for you on SPF. Hopefully you're still watching this video. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's not that freaking sexy. But it is incredibly important. I get so many questions about it. Avoid sun damage, avoid skin cancer. Like, in all seriousness, the biggest thing is none of us want to look wrinkly and agey. You can buy all the serums and all the products to help kind of counteract that effect or to fix some of these damages. It's cheaper, it is easier, and it is less painful to just prevent the wrinkles, the discoloration, and the sun damage and all of that aging stuff than trying to fix it later on in life. Seriously, take care of your skin at the end of the day. Chemical, physical, whatever it is, choose a sunblock, wear it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If anything, I hope my video helped motivate you to look and feel your best from the outside in. I know when I look and feel my best, I'm just a lot more capable at dealing with whatever life has to throw at me. Just hope my video helped you unwind, de-stress from your day, take your mind off of whatever it was you needed help taking your mind off of. And until next time, I hope to see you guys back here. I upload 3 new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on this channel. I have a second channel, More Serene, a podcast called Behind the Beauty, and of course my blog, serenwoo.com, which I do a lot of swatches and updates and all that stuff that go along with this channel. So if you like blogs, make sure you check that out, serenwoo.com, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!